All right, welcome back for another edition of Dollar Bin Digging. This is the video and article that I do for comicbookinvest.com where I talk about those hidden little treasures that might be nestled away in those dollar bins, those cheap boxes, those discount bins at your LCS, flea markets, yard sales, garage sales, used bookstores, wherever you find your cheap comics. These are those hidden little treasures that might be buried there still for you to go pick out. Those little nuggets that you should just be keeping an eye out for when you're out there doing your comic book hunting. Hopefully, you're enjoying this series as well as all the other content here on Rennavision. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Make sure you're checking out the live shows on Wednesdays and Sundays. And yeah, like I said, let me know what you think. And hopefully, you keep telling your friends so we can keep growing this channel, do some more giveaways, and do some more fun stuff like that. And if you want to see what books I want to talk about this week, just hang on for a few seconds after the intro, and I'll be right back with those books that I picked out to cover the news and rumors and speculations of some of the things I've been hearing out there lately. So hopefully you'll like the picks that I made, and well, yeah, just hang on for a few seconds after the intro, and I'll be right back. All right, so as we've been doing the last few weeks, I kind of like this format where I'm just kind of looking at all those little bits of news, rumors, and speculation, all the talk that's happening around Marvel and DC, and a little bit of indie stuff as well. As we go through this, and just some ideas that it starts to create in my mind, and things that I want to go hunting for after I hear some of these announcements and some of the talk. Now, first up, we are actually not doing a news item per se. This is an idea that came through a conversation and a chat that I was having with a buddy of mine, Van Denby, who does the Vantage Point article over on comicbookinvest.com. Make sure you check out his articles. He covers a lot of great stuff from variants and just a very wise individual. I listen to when he speaks, I listen. Now, he saw something in that Doctor Strange trailer that kind of got him thinking of a character, and that came from this shot here with America Chavez. Looks like she's facing off against a creature of some kind. And he was saying, to him, and I kind of agree, it does kind of look a bit like this character of Cobweb. I mean, if you just look at the layout. I mean, apart from it being kind of lit up and on fire, I see the connection. I mean, it could not be. I'm not saying this is definitely who it is or anything like that, but he made the connection and I could see it. So I think it's a fun little thing, a little nugget that's out there. Does that mean that this is going to be some huge character in the movie? Probably not. This is probably just a minor scene that lasts all of 30 seconds for all we know. But that being said, it's still a cool little nugget and a cool little find, I think, if this is indeed Cobweb. I mean, it might not be. It might be just some other demonic creature. It could be, the squishy guy from the Nightmare Before Christmas, because he kind of looks like that too. Well, they both actually kind of look a little bit like that. But this is Cobweb, and even you can see here on the back of this Marvel trading card, it tells you that the first appearance of Cobweb is Sleepwalker 3 from August 1991, and that's a book you can still find in those dollar bins, those cheap bins. And that's why I figured it was a good pick. It's a good thing to go digging for, just for fun. You never know if this is actually going to happen. But, for $1, why not take a shot, right? So, Sleepwalker 3. Tons of Sleepwalker books in those cheap bins. Most of the ones have been pulled out, and there are a couple other ones you want to be mindful of, like the Halloween mask, I think, is on 19. That's like kind of a cutout that you can take off. The final issue of the series as well. And why not look out for issue 3? Because it's probably in those dollar bins. It's probably in those cheap bins. So go take a look and get yourself a first Cobweb. You can see this thing even sells online for super cheap. It's $2, $3.50. Like this is this is even like almost $1 comic online, let alone in your dollar bins. Of course, you got to pay shipping. So just go digging in a box just for fun. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying invest a lot of money into this. Just go pick it up for $1 and take a shot. You could even find it for less than $1. There's some 50-cent bins that's still out there at some places. And if you want to take a look at the market, you can see, $6, but there's still $1.65. There's a copy out there right now you can get for $1.65 or best offer. So you probably can get it for $1. Just saying. Sleepwalker number 3 is the first one I thought was kind of fun. Thanks again to Van for making that connection and pointing it out. Like I said, I think it's fun, and it's a book that I'm looking for right now. Just give you something to do. Like I said, a lot of this is just something to do. It's almost like a scavenger hunt when you go out there digging, and that's kind of part of the fun that I have when I go out hunting. It's not just looking for things that are going to make me money or, books that I'm looking to add to fill out some runs in my collection, But sometimes it's just to find some little oddities like this. Just I don't know, just because, and it's only $1. Now, next up, I covered this on the news on the tax show yesterday with Corbin and Marco, and we kind of talked a little bit about this possibility of the poster hiding the secret villain. Apparently, the poster for Doctor Strange is hiding all kinds of secrets and all kinds of Easter eggs for everybody to pick out every little tidbit, rumor, theory that they've been talking about the last few years to try to justify it as all being true. Just be mindful that most of this stuff is not going to be true. Like most of this is not going to pan out. So don't go investing a lot of money in this stuff. But if you're talking about just a couple of bucks, sure, take a flyer, take a chance. Why not? Because it should be fun. Now, what we're talking about here on for this one, more specifically, is this villain. So here we got this big poster again, all these hidden images, all in this broken glass, shattered glass, these other universes, so many little things hidden away from the Deadpools, and you got Peggy Carter's Captain Carter shields in there, but someone else had actually picked out right back here on the background that it looks like there is a creature in the back, which it could be, and it's possible that this creature could in fact be Chthon, because I do see the similarities, I do see the connection, I do see a little bit of the possibility that Chthon could be in there, and it does also make a lot of sense from a story standpoint, because Chthon, again, if I'm saying the name properly, I hope so. If not, I apologize, but he is actually the author of the Darkhold. Yes, the very same Darkhold from WandaVision that Scarlet Witch, currently has and is reading through. This is the author, the creator of the Darkhold, I guess you would say. So there's a good and strong possibility that he could be in not only in this film, but also be behind everything that happens in this movie, because a lot of people are saying that Wanda is actually the bad guy. But if Wanda's the bad guy because she's reading the Darkhold, this is the author, creator of the Darkhold. Perhaps this is the man behind the curtain that's running the show. Now, who knows? It's just a possibility. It's just a theory, just a rumor, but still something fun to keep in mind. Now, I talked about this one already back in, I think, November. So hopefully we're looking for it then, because Chthon's first appearance is in Marvel Chillers #1. I mean, this is one of those oddball Bronze Age type things you can find in boxes. It may not be in the best shape, could be a little bit beat up, but still will be worth grabbing for $1 or $2. And this is Marvel Chillers #1. Mordred the Mystic features the first appearance of Chthon in this issue. Despite that, like I said, I talked about it a couple of months ago, but you can still see it still sells, a little bit all over the place. It's cheap as $11.50. I saw it was a recent sale on the 20th, and then the 24th, $35. Buy it now. So it is a good find if you can find it for that cheap. But again, don't go paying the market prices. Like, you don't have to go out there spending the $26 to $35 that are on the market. Just keep an eye on it in a box. It could be in there. I'm not saying it definitely is. It's just that possibility, because I don't know about the boxes near you, but there's always a lot of that older kind of copper bronze type stuff that's just like nobody's paying attention to, like all the DC, not old horror, but you know what I'm talking about. That stuff you just flip past because you just are not thinking about it. You're not saying, you know what, I want to complete a Conan the Barbarian run. Like flipping through those Conan books and these weird Marvel team ups and things like that is where you're going to see this Marvel Chillers probably just buried in the midst of all that madness. So just be mindful of it. Now, if you want something a little more recent to keep an eye out for, you might as well still keep an eye out for Darkhold #1, because while it's not a first appearance, there are some first appearances of characters in this run, the Midnight Suns, which is a great little crossover event that Marvel had in those early 90s, and something they may go back to. I don't know. It's a possibility as they expand out this little corner of the horror universe. As we're getting Moon Knight. Apparently, we're getting that one-shot Werewolf by Night, I think, around Halloween. These are things we might see another Ghost Rider. We might see a connection to the Midnight Suns, and we might see more on the Darkhold, not only in a series of its own, but maybe we get it in as part of Agatha's series. I mean, otherwise, what's Agatha Harkness's series going to be about, if not more stuff on the Darkhold? So some of these characters that played out in this comic storyline could end up on a show for Agatha or something like that. Pure speculation and ideas. I'm just saying, you can still find this thing for cheap, which is why I say keep an eye out for it. Because while it heated up a couple of times, it's still $3 to $4. You can buy it. There's evidence of sales from just this past couple of days, $3 to $4 online. So you can still find it in a box, probably at a shop near you. And you can even look online. Look, there's copies $5, $10. There's even cheaper than that, and maybe even a little more expensive than that. But this is kind of the broad range, the general range of what you're talking about here is a $5 to $10 book is what the asking price is. So take a shot. If you find it for cheap, take a shot. It does come polybagged, or it initially came polybagged with a poster that connected with all of these Rise of the Midnight Suns first issues. But if you can't find it with the polybag, look, here's a newsstand. Nothing wrong with grabbing one of those. Just keep an eye out for it because it can't hurt. Now, next up, we're going to go over to the world of Thor, and it seems like we are going to get Peter Dinklage back as Etri. I think that's how his name was, the dwarf king who forged Mjolnir as well as Stormbreaker. It looks like we're going to see him again. I mean, it's kind of cool. And not only are we going to see him, but we're also going to see the goats, the Thor's goats. It's like Tooth Gnasher and like Tooth Grinder or something. I don't remember both their names, but the two goats that you can see here in this Lego set, they are also going to probably appear in the movie. Kind of fun. I only remember Tooth Gnasher for some reason. But that all being said, they all first appeared in this Mighty Thor annual number 5. It's not going to be an easy book to find, but you might find it because, like I said, a lot of these old annuals and things, I still see them in those boxes for $1 or $2 because half the time they might be beat up, but it still might be worth grabbing if it's just not a 9.8 copy, but it's still a fine, very fine copy, could be worth grabbing for cheap, is all I'm saying. And what we're talking about here is this right here. The two goats are unnamed, and that's really it. That's all you're getting in this issue, but they are there. Tooth Gnasher and the other one. I can't remember their names, but we'll get to it in the next book. But this one, you can see, still sells pretty well on the aftermarket. It's like $18. I'm not saying that's a ton of money, but there you go. It's selling for like $18 consistently. Again, these are sales from the last couple of days, so this isn't old data. And if you look on the market now, there's like $20 to $50. Again, some cheaper, some higher, depending on condition. There's graded copies as well, but generally $20 to $50 is the ask online for this. So if you find it for cheap, it might be worth picking up. But if you can't find the first of those two goats, you might want to look at this Thor 339, which is an early Beta Ray Bill. I think it's his third technical appearance. Not that should matter. And it is actually the first creation of Stormbreaker, which is why this book actually heated up for a while once we got it in the the Marvel universe. But it is also where they are named. So the two goats it's Tooth Gnasher and Tooth Grinder. So that's what it was. It was Tooth Gnasher and Tooth Grinder. But they reappear here in this issue of Mighty Thor. And look, they get their names finally. So there are the two goats. And this is also a great run. Simonson run is a great read. So pick those up just for that. But keep an eye out for this because I do still see the Simonson run in those boxes. And this one in particular, it doesn't sell for a whole heck of a lot, even though it did heat up for a little while. But $5. You can see one sold yesterday, and then February 24th, just today, new listing sold 9.8, $155. So the 9.8 for $155 ain't bad, but you can see it's as cheap as $5 online. This thing could sell for. And copies out there on the market if you want to go shopping. There's another $5, $10, $20. That's still kind of cheap considering it's the first, not first appearance of the goats, but I think that's the first time they're named. And then you also get first Stormbreaker, which is an important item, I guess, in the MCU, because it is still Thor's weapon of choice, because I think Jane Foster is going to get the reforged Mjolnir. So looks like Hemsworth is going to be continuing on with Stormbreaker for a little while longer. And who knows, maybe we eventually do get Beta Ray Bill. You never know, right? But next book, let's go on to something happening over in the comics. We're going to look at, they call an obscure Moon Knight villain, just became Marvel's latest god. But I don't know, this is a character that, again, the first appearance was a book that a lot of people were picking up for one reason or another. I think there were rumors of an appearance early on in some sort of a show or something. But who I'm talking about here is the Stained Glass Scarlet Fascinera. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but apparently she comes back into the storyline here as some sort of like deity, I guess. I don't know. This is not what she appeared like when she first appeared, but this is what we have going on in the comics right now. But first appearance goes back to Moon Knight number 14 here. Pretty cool cover. Gotta dig it. And like I said, it popped up a little bit for a while ago, but you can still find these things kind of cheap. Moon Knight books are tough. I'm not going to lie. Moon Knight is hard to find in those cheap boxes anymore. Any copies, any issues. But that doesn't mean you just shouldn't be aware in case you come across one of these and maybe it's not $1. Maybe it's $3. Maybe it's $2. That's the point. I don't want to just really focus too much in on the dollar bins, because while I do still dig in the dollar bins, you also got to look in any sort of back issue bin for cheap prices and then make those determinations based on, what you think with the market. You make your call with all the information available, or at least all the information I could provide you. And that being, copies of this thing can still sell for as cheap as $1. Like 2 weeks ago, somebody won one for 99 cents online, or bid up to $20 just yesterday. Crazy. Prices could go all over the place with these. Again, condition sensitive, obviously, but still be mindful of what's out there and just be vigilant. Be vigilant. You'll find some copies, whether it be online or at your shops. Just go digging and just be patient. Don't let FOMO take hold and get you to do something you shouldn't. Like going and buying at the market, which right now a lot of copies are $20 to $35. Not recommending you pay that. Cheap is what I'm talking about. You get it for under this price, then you're in good shape. Don't go paying market prices. Don't go getting FOMO, especially on weird rumors and speculation. Just you don't have to have it. You can't have everything. You just don't have to. So just remember that. Which is also going to come into play with our next one. We got one more that I want to talk about. Actually, I think I got more than one more. But we got Game of Thrones author George R.R. Martin's series Wild Cards is coming back to Marvel Comics. Not only is it coming back to Marvel Comics, but there also is the rumors of a series coming to the Peacock network. So this is like a twofer here. So this is something we're going to get a little bit more of this series. I don't know a whole heck of a lot of this series. I do remember it, and I do remember passing through a lot of these Eclipse types books in those cheap boxes. So they're out there. Granted, might be getting picked slim now because that Peacock announcement came, I think, a couple of months ago. The comic announcement is more recent. So it's been on some radars already, but we're talking about this 4-issue series here, all Epic. Why did I say Eclipse? Epic Comics from back in the day. And I kind of like the idea of how they have, you see the border on issue 1 here has the hearts, and then issue 2's got the diamonds going around there. And you see the theme when we're talking about with wild cards. And then you got the clubs here on issue 3. And then obviously issue 4 is going to get you those spades going around the border. Like I said, I like fun little details like that. It completes the series, it rounds everything out and brings everything back together. But looking at this series, like I said, it's been selling decently for a while now. Just today, buy it now, $26 for issue 1, or you can buy the whole set of 4 for $100. So if you can find all 4 of these in a cheap box, which is a chance you still can, a lot of places are still going to have these Epic Comics just buried in those discount boxes. $100 ain't too bad if you can find it, all 4. And if you look in the market, it's really, those are the prices. $20 for issue 1 or $100 for a full set seems to be a popular asking price right now. So, and it's the prices that you can get, as you can see, as evidenced by some of the recent sales as well. So if you can find this set, or even just, a couple of the issues, scoop them up while you can. I know that was a whole heck of a lot of Marvel, but that's what I pay attention to most. But we do have a little bit of DC, and this next little bit of DC is coming through from this rumor. Again, I also brought this up on the TAC show yesterday, that this Flash crew shirt seemingly reveals the movie's true villain. I don't know if this is actually true. Again, this is rumor stuff. This is rumor. So it's a t-shirt that I'm going to show you and you make your decision if you think this means that Black Flash is definitely the villain because of this shirt. Because it's a black shirt, and we see some of this almost venomized things creeping up his legs. That could just be the negative space on the Speed Force, because that looks like the Michael Turner image from Flash 2. I can't remember the number. It's like in the 200s. It was a Michael Turner cover. That's the image of Flash that I think they used for that silhouette. And I think there's Speed Force stuff going all up his legs. So that could just be why it looks that way. Not necessarily because it's Black Flash, but hey, who knows? But the Black Flash, who did appear on the CW TV show already, and it was handled pretty well, I would say. It wasn't too bad. But these are books I had been talking about for a while. Well, I mean, not talking about, but I brought up a long time ago, and I'm bringing them up again. 138, Human Race Part 3, I think, is the first appearance of this the Black Flash, and then you got a 3-issue series, arc following it for issues 139 to 141. But 138, I believe, is the first appearance kind of kicking off that little storyline. And this can be a book that you can find for $10 on its own, or that whole set and that whole run that I just mentioned, you can see it sold for $40, and then a lot of shipping, but still like $40 for the whole set. So still not too bad. And if you want to look at asking prices, the asking prices are getting a little steeper though. just for this issue alone, right now, all I can really find are like 30 to 40 bucks. So even though one sold for 10 2 days ago, the copies now, maybe based on this rumor, maybe a lot of people are thinking the same thing, that this is a book that they are now asking a lot more for. So if you can find it for cheap, you might be able to make a few bucks too, if you decide that that's what you want to do and you want to flip it or sell it. But that's for issue just 138, which is kind of like that first, I guess, appearance. But then we have that 3 issue, like I said, storyline that immediately follows the Black Flash, part 1 of 3, issue 139, and then you got 140, and then the big one I think out of this set that most people I think lean towards is issue 3, 141, because you get that cover appearance, that all important cover appearance right there. It's kind of like a zombified kind of looking Flash, pretty cool. You can see why that one is the gem of the bunch. Again, the 3 you sold yesterday for $43 for the 3 issue set. On look, $36 for another 3 issue set yesterday. But then when you go online, you can see just issue 4 alone, or not issue 4, part 3 of the series, the 4th issue in these 4 issues I'm talking about. Flash 141, $33 to $75 are the asking prices. That's what they're asking for right now for this. Crazy. And there's no more sets of the 3 available right now, at least. But maybe more come to market eventually. But just fun little stuff, just stuff to be aware of, to keep your eyes out for when you're digging in those boxes. Because either you're getting some books for cheap for your own collection, take a shot, maybe something happens, maybe some of these rumors and speculations pan out, maybe they don't. But at least you only are in it for cheap. At least that's the idea behind this. So don't go spending market prices. Don't go let FOMO get a hold of you. Just pick up the stuff that you like. Pick up what makes sense to you, and don't spend a lot for it, because that's not the point. Let's keep the hobby fun, and just take a couple of shots, because it can't hurt. That all said, that's what I got for you. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and hopefully you like some of these picks. Maybe you have some of them. Maybe you picked them up already, because like I said, some of these I talked about before. So even though I feel like I'm repeating myself, it might be months later. It could even be years later, since I've been doing this now for like 3 years, this series. I might repeat myself once in a while, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't keep looking for those books. Just a friendly reminder. So just more books to add to your mental Rolodex when you're out there flipping through those cheap bins. So hopefully when you see, you go, why do I know this book? Why do I know this book? Oh, yeah, it's because I saw it on that show. Maybe I should grab it for 50 cents or for $1, just in case. Yeah, then I don't feel so bad if you do. Hopefully you enjoyed that and you enjoyed the series. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Make sure you come back and tell your friends. Check out my Whatnot sale for this Star Wars weekend this weekend. It's going on right now. I think there's plenty of sellers. A bunch of my buddies from CBSI are part of this Whatnot Star Wars weekend with some of the headliners. So go check them out. Go buy some great Star Wars books, or just check it. Just check it out and watch and see some great Star Wars books, and get some interesting knowledge dropped while you do so, because that's what I plan to do this Sunday, 6 p.m. I'll do my Whatnot, selling some of my Star Wars keys and first appearances, Dark Horse books, Marvel books, some variants. I got a bunch of stuff. I got a couple slabs. I got some magazines, a bunch of stuff for you. Come check it out, and then stick around for the Star Wars show that night at 9, as we got more High Republic stuff for you. That's enough Star Wars, completely unrelated to what we were doing before. Hopefully you don't mind those plugs. And with that all said, thanks again for stopping by, and I will see you guys soon with more content.